Here's some real talk for you. Blogging in 2023 is way different than it was 10 years ago. Long gone are the days where you can just blog about whatever interests you and get a lot of traffic from Google. With how competitive the blogging space has become, you can honestly leave nothing to chance when it comes to writing blog posts that rank. And if you've done a little bit of research on SEO, then you'll know that as a new blogger, you should target low competition keyword phrases. These are also known as long tail keywords. Now, if you are totally bootstrapping it as a blogger and you simply cannot afford to spend a dime on research tools, I do have a strategy that works, and you can learn more about that in this video here. But I'm gonna level with you. That process is really time consuming, and it can leave you feeling frustrated and wishing that there was an easier way to herd all those yummy low competition keywords together in one place without spending hours combing through the SERPs. Today, I'm going to show you how to do exactly that using a tool called Lowfruits.io. If you're new to my channel, my name is Corey, and I'm a writer and content creator. It's my mission to share with you everything I know about how to make money online with your content. For full transparency, I'll tell you that I am an affiliate for Lowfruits.io, and there are affiliate links in the description box, which means that if you make a purchase after clicking on one, I may earn a commission. I discovered Lowfruits a little while back, and I've been having a really great time with this tool because it's so easy to use and it's really affordable too. Lowfruits has both a subscription plan and a pay-as-you-go option, so you can choose whichever is most suitable for your business. Personally, I love the pay-as-you-go option because you can pay 25 bucks for 2,000 credits, and if you use them wisely, they last a long time. Now compare that to other keyword tools like Ahrefs and SEMrush, which are like $100 per month for the cheapest plan. Now, of course, Lowfruits is not nearly as robust as those tools, but it is perfect for bloggers who are on a budget and need help finding keywords they can actually rank for. And you get to use the report feature without spending any credits. You only consume credits when you choose to analyze a keyword. So I'll walk you through the tool right now so you can get an idea of how useful this can be as a new blogger. So from your dashboard here, you're going to see a few options to the left. This main page we're on here is just an overview showing how many credits we have left and how many reports that we've run. So in order to run a report, we can use either the keyword finder function or the import function where you can upload your own keywords for Lowfruits to analyze. But for now, we're going to click on the keyword finder since that's sort of the main attraction here. So I'm just going to click on it and it brings me to this short form here. And your seed keyword can be any topic related to your niche. And what I really love about this is that the report is going to find both keywords containing this phrase and related keywords. So for example, let's say I'm starting a blog about camping. I would just type in camping as my main keyword, and then I can just leave the country and language as is. And we can either click on find keywords or we can click on advanced options to fine tune our search. So for example, once we've expanded this, we can see that we can both include or exclude words from our search. And automatically it's filtering out any search terms that contain UGC sites like Reddit or Quora or Near Me, which is more for local SEO. But let's say I wanted to make sure my keywords only contain the word camping and didn't talk about glamping, for example, I could put the word glamping in here. And then this is interesting down here. You can give it a max domain authority, either by entering your website for it to analyze your website's DA or to manually enter the max DA. And if you're not sure what DA means, it stands for domain authority, and it's a metric created by Moz to estimate how authoritative your site is in Google's eyes based on your backlink profile. It's not a real Google metric by any means, and there's a lot of other similar ones with different names, like Ahrefs has domain rating, SEMrush has their own rating as well, but it's a great metric to use for comparative purposes. So with Moz's domain authority, it gives every site a rating between 1 and 100 based on how many backlinks that website has. Now there are exceptions to this, but in general, the higher the DA or the more authority that that website has, the easier it will be for it to rank in the SERPs. So as a new site, you really want to find those websites that are ranking on page one that have a really low domain authority, because if they're ranking, then theoretically you should be able to rank as well. So I believe the Lowfruits default is a DA of 20, and I would stick with that for the most part. Although sometimes I will target websites that are up to a domain authority of 30, because even if they have a better DA, sometimes their on-page optimization isn't very good, which means that I still have a shot at beating them. And then there's a box for you to enter competitor domains if you're aware of any websites that you're competing against directly and you want to find and exploit the weaknesses, then you can put them in here. But we're just going to leave everything as is, and then I'm going to click on this button that says Find Keywords. And it's just going to take a minute here to generate the report. And here's the report. So we can see we have 2,792 keywords, and we could analyze all of these keywords, but that would consume a lot of our credits. Each keyword that we analyze equals 1 credit. So I only have 1,952 credits. I don't want to spend them all analyzing every single keyword phrase in this report. So instead, we're just going to take a look at the report and analyze keywords individually. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on this button that says Fetch Volume. And this is free to do, but it just takes a couple of minutes for the volumes to populate. But it'll give you an idea of how much a term is being searched on Google. So in general, we're looking for keyword phrases with a low DA, but with at least some volume. So I clicked on that button, and here it says Fetching Search Volumes. And you'll see that they start populating down here. And you are going to see that there are a lot of keywords that show a volume of less than 10 per month, but that's totally okay. And honestly, these estimates are hardly accurate because I'm ranking for plenty of 10 or lower volume keywords on my own site that bring in much more traffic than that. So it's really more for comparative purposes. But we can browse through here and see if there's any topics that we want to write about. So right off the bat, I see a few terms here that would make great blog posts. So how much does it cost to rent a camping trailer? How to make coffee while camping. And any phrase that I see that I would like to analyze, I'm just going to click on this button here and it's going to start analyzing it. So I'm just going to go through and click on a few here. How to make toast camping, how to make a bucket light for camping. But let's say we want to sort through this list a little better because we've got pages and pages of keyword phrases here. So along the top here, you'll see a bunch of different filters. And my two favorite filters are the intent and PAA. So first we'll look at the intent filter, which lets you filter the results by search intent. So for instance, I really like the pre-purchase tab because it's great for finding keyword phrases that are attracting readers who are getting ready to buy something related to that phrase. So if we turn this keyword on, we're going to get a lot of terms that start with the word best, right? So best camping on Gulf Coast, best brand camping tent, best place to buy firewood for camping. And I can just analyze these ones that stand out to me. And another good one is comparisons. So let's take a look here. So these would make for some good informational posts, right? So we've got difference between camp axe and hatchets, camping chair comparison, cost of camping versus hotel. That's a good one. Tent camping versus camper. And then the other filter I really like is PAA, which stands for people also ask. So if you're ever on Google and you're searching for something, you'll almost always see this people also ask section at the top of the results. And these often make for very good keywords. So I'm going to toggle that on and turn this intent back off. And here we're going to see a bunch of questions, right? What are the 3 types of camping? What's the cheapest way to RV? How do you make coffee in a camp? Is it okay to sleep in a tent? How do you get firewood when backpacking? So lots of questions, right? So when you're creating a niche blog, you really want to have a good balance between those money posts or those ones that have buying intent, like best campers, best tents, and informational posts that boost your authority on this topic. Another cool thing is that you can click on this topics filter and select certain keywords to analyze that are related to camping. So for example, maybe I want to do a content silo or a content cluster about camping with dogs. So I can just click on dogs here and see what comes up. Tips for taking dogs camping, best tent when camping with dogs, best camping with dogs. Do dogs like camping? That would make a good informational post. And last but not least, we can also filter by volume. So we can click on volume and say we only want to look at keyword phrases with a minimum of 50 searches per month. And then we can sort by volume. So then the search terms with the most searches will come up first. So I think I still have the dogs filter on. Let's turn that off. And then obviously these search phrases that, are one word are going to be pretty much impossible to rank for. It's just not specific enough. So let's make a maximum, let's say 2000. Oh, here we go. Best camping in Oregon. Best camping gifts. That's a good one. So once we're done filtering and checking off all the keywords that look interesting to us, we can just click on this tab up here that says all and bring us back to the main report. And at the top of the report here, you're going to see all of our analyzed keyword phrases. And under this weak spots column here is where all the magic happens. The more fruits that show up next to the search phrase, the better. So each green fruit denotes a website that's ranking on Google that has a DA of less than 20. And the blue fruits mean that it's a UGC site that's ranking on page 1. So usually this is Quora or Reddit or some other forum. And that's a really good sign too, because we can usually outrank user-generated content more easily than other websites. So for example, difference between Camp Axe and Hatchet, we have 5 fruits. So there's 4 websites with a DA of less than 20, and there's 1 UGC site. So this would be a really good long tail keyword phrase for us to target as a new blogger. And if you scroll down a little further on your report, you're going to see that there are some analyzed phrases where it says no weak spots were found. So that means that is probably not a great idea for us to target these phrases. Now, if you want to drill down on this a little bit further, what I like to do is click on this box here to highlight all of our keywords on the current page. And I'm just going to uncheck these ones at the bottom that had no weak spots. And then I'm going to click on this button here on the bottom bar for word count. And what this does is give us the average word count of the top ranking pages. So it's just going to take a minute here to update. And taking a quick look here, it looks like a lot of these keywords are actually less than 2,000 words. There's a few that are longer. So best camping gear for families. Looks like we would want a much longer blog post for that keyword. But a lot of them are under 2,000 words, so that's great. So in just a few minutes, we've already curated this list of really good keywords to target. And we know what their search volume is and how long the article should be. And we can come back to this report anytime to do more research, but you can also export the list by clicking on all of our boxes here and then clicking on the export button at the bottom. And then it's going to ask us to refresh and download. And now we can upload it to a Google Sheet. And boom, now we have a content plan with 20 articles that are ready to write. Now, one other thing that I wanted to show you about Lowfruits is its ability to analyze the competition for your target keywords. So on our camping report, you'll see at the top here, there's a tab that says competition. And if we click on that, we get a list of all the competing websites for camping. Not only that, but we can see their domain authority, what kind of sites they are, and if they're monetized with ads. So you can see right off the bat, a lot of these are affiliate sites, which is great. That's exactly the type of competition that we're looking for. We're not necessarily going to compete with shops because those are e-commerce stores and not blogs. And we can also see that a lot of these sites are monetized with ads. So this one's monetized with Ezoic. We've got a lot that are monetized with Mediavine. And we have one down here that's monetized with AdSense. And it's really encouraging when you can find blogs that have a low domain authority and see that they're monetized with ads. So that's it for Lowfruits. I love, love, love this tool, and I think it's the perfect balance between finding a cost-effective option while still offering a ton of utility to new bloggers. If you want to check it out, you can find my referral link in the description box. Now, if you're left with this list of keyword phrases and now you're wondering about how to actually write them and optimize them for Google search, I have lots of videos on this topic, and I'll leave a couple tutorials for you over here. If you have any questions about keyword research or Lowfruits, hit me up in the comments. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.